I tell you, you're moving the ball and your Fort Hill's offensive coaches and things are starting to click a little bit. Then all of a sudden, a great play is made against your offense, and now boom, you're 3rd and 10 again.
And Ted, I usually don't call these, but what about the stop and go to Page? Is now the time?
Well, they're splitting him out here to the left, and it's a wide side of the field, so might be a good time. There it is. It's an out. Well, I tell you, that might have been better off that he threw that over his head, because the Wheaton defensive back was in a great position. Number 30 that time, David Ogburn, maybe to make an interception there.
And they've run the stop. They've run the short out. It's time for the stop and go.
Well, it's 4th and 10. They haven't had a long run all day, so.
Yeah, they're almost forced to throw the football, and this is a critical down. 8 minutes and 29 seconds remaining. You're down 14-0. Fort Hill has to come up with something magical out of that playbook, and Mike Calhoun's had a habit of doing that over the years. Let's see what he comes up with now.
Well, you have Mike Page coming split left, and you have a slot receiver also, so we're in definitely a passing formation.
Tried to run a slant that time to Michael Page, and the ball was overthrown. Good coverage again by Wheaton, and Ted, they really go to the football. That's one thing you notice about Wheaton. They go to that football strong.
Well, talking to the Fort Hill coaches, up in the press box before the game, and they told us that Wheaton had exceptional athletes, and they're flyers, and we're seeing it right now. Anytime that pass goes in the air, you see Wheaton defenders going after that ball.
Christopher Photo Lab has been developing your holiday memories for 50 years. They have the new Kodak Image Magic System, photo restoration, prints from prints, and a host of new magic services now at Christopher's. Stop in and see Dave. We can see a big hole that time from up here, Ted. They went back to the inside trap, and Velasquez was able to get ahead for about 5. And if you're Wheaton now, you're looking to try to get ahead and gain a couple first downs, 8-11 and counting here in the 4th quarter.
Well, I tell you what, a big tackle by Buddy Van Meter there. If he doesn't get a hand on him and trip him up that time, he might be running for at least 15 or 20 yards. And then this is the kind of game Wheaton likes. They want to take that ball and shove it down your throats, and that's what they've done all year. Rashad Page, another big stop there.
Wayne Sitko has Hertz and U-Haul Rentals, 4-wheel and front wheel alignment, tire balancing, food and beverages. Wayne Sitko downtown. And once again, we'd like to thank all our sponsors from Commercial Video Services. We appreciate your support, able to bring you the Maryland State 2A Championship game from College Park Bird Stadium.
Well, I tell you, that's a critical first down for Wheaton. And you notice, and you talked about it early in the game, they went to the 2-back set instead of the 3-back to get the quick hitters up on the line.
Theron Johnson able to move ahead that time and move ahead for a first down. And time is becoming of the essence here as you look at the clock. 7 minutes to go. Wheaton Knights leading the Fort Hill Sentinels 14-0.
Yeah, everything seems to be in Wheaton's favor right now. And also the other negative for Fort Hill is they're down to 1 timeout.
Good play there that time at the point of attack. Kevin Tishnell and number 55 for the Sentinels. In on the tackle, Travis Brohl. Brings up a 2nd and 10.
Now, over the past couple of years, Kevin Tishnell has played a fine defensive end for the Sentinels, and he had some good years the last 2 years for Fort Hill.
And I'm sure Wheaton at this point is going to be content to run this football down to 6:20 and counting.
Smart play by the Wheaton running back that time. Number 32, Theron Johnson, to stay in bounds. I mean, that's one of those things the kids sometimes go and run out of the sideline, stop the clock when they shouldn't.
You know, Ted, we got to give a little credit to the Fort Hill defense. I tell you, the second half, they played a tremendous football game. The first half, they were really being pushed all over the field, and these kids have come out the second half and really sucked it up, and it's just a matter of the Fort Hill offense hadn't been able to generate any scoring, but the defense has played a tremendous and gutsy second half. Timeout by Wheaton.
Wheaton, their first of the half.
Attention van buyers, listen carefully. In the next 30 seconds, you could save $4,000. At Schaefer Ford and Jeep in Cumberland, only Schaefer gives you $4,000 off remaining 96 Windstars in stock. Not $1,000, not $2,000, not $3,000. Exactly $4,000 off every single remaining 96 Windstar in stock at Schaefer. And remember, 97's arriving daily at lowest prices. Guaranteed. But hurry, $4,000 off Windstar while they last only. And only at Schaefer in Cumberland, where everybody buys their Fords and Jeeps.
Stan's Auto Body is the place to bring your car when it starts looking a little rough around the edges. If you've had an accident or its age is starting to show, Stan's Auto Body can have your car looking like it's showroom new again. Stan's takes pride in the work they do, whether it's body work, glass replacement, or new paint you need. Stan's Auto Body always does a professional job. It's their business to have your vehicle looking good. Stan's Auto Body at 119 and 123 Roberts Street in Cumberland.
Westvaco Worldwide is well positioned to serve the growing global economy, with sales offices strategically located around the world. We've been selling into the international marketplace for more than 35 years. Today, almost 20% of Westvaco's annual sales are made to international markets.
I promised you a demon drencher, and you'll get a demon drencher, even if we have to drive to Alaska.
Sorry, we're all out.
Hey, a promise is a promise.
Kelly Springfield tires are designed to go a long way, and we've got the warranties to prove it.
Hi, we're heading home.
So go.
Quite a trip, huh, pal?
Get every mile you can out of life.
Lowest prices. Guaranteed every day at Schaefer Ford and Jeep in Cumberland. Schaefer has the biggest selection and guaranteed lowest prices on all new 97 Ford cars and trucks. Schaefer is Western Maryland's only Jeep dealer with the best deal on Jeep. Want to save thousands on a new vehicle? Get 1996 bonus buys at Schaefer. Schaefer, where you'll buy new Ford cars, trucks, and Jeeps at lowest prices. Guaranteed. Western Maryland's best selection, #1 sales and service. That's Schaefer Ford and Jeep. Schaefer, Route 36, Cumberland.
And we're back here at College Park, Bird Stadium. The Fort Hill Sentinels behind to the Wheaton Knights, 14-0. 5:42 left in the ball game, and Wheaton's coming up with about a 3rd and 11. Another one of those critical plays here in the second half. I tell you, Wheaton has amassed an incredible amount of penalty yardage in the second half.
It's also amazing to see how disciplined, and they look like a well-oiled machine in the first half running the football, and then they come out the second half and basically they look pretty atrocious, to tell you the truth. You would never believe it's the same team out there.
Especially on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously their defense has played well all day, but I agree with you. The second half on offense, they've lacked discipline and just not executed at all. And of course you got to give some of that credit to the Fort Hill defense, because there's no question they've picked it up a notch here in the second half. Once again, 3rd and about 16 for the Wheaton Knights.
Well, Toby, I don't know about you, but that play was sort of pretty amazing. It looked like they were in a situation where they were just going to jam it up inside, let the clock run some more, and they roll out and throw a pass and stop the clock.
And once again, you have another flag on the field. Now, I question the call, too. I mean, you're up 2 scores. Why would you want to even put it in here at this point? Illegal receiver downfield. Illegal lineman downfield, I should say. And Fort Hill's going to have to decline this one because they want to get their hands on the football. 5:34 to go, and it'll be interesting to see if Mike goes for the punt block at this point.
You know, that just doesn't make good sense at all, because you're down to a situation where if you run the running play, by the time you get the clock set, you're probably down under 5 minutes left in the game. Fort Hill needs 2 possessions to score, so that, the whole game we've complimented the play calling, but that one there is a little suspect.
The ball takes a Wheaton bounce. Very fortunate that time. They had a low snap and lucky to get the kick away, and then they get a fortuitous bounce. And now I think we have another penalty.
Boy, you talk about Wheaton just going the undisciplined route. I mean, you want to talk about a bonehead play. One of the Wheaton players just came up and cheap-shotted a Fort Hill Sentinel right in the middle of the field.
Yeah, and that was a cheap shot. I don't think you can call it anything but that. I think it was, I'm not sure the number of Wheaton. Looked like number 20, Jack Lee. And he took a cheap shot. I think it was at Travis Broll, and Travis was smart enough to give him credit for keeping his cool and just walking off the field. But the officials were right there, and as you said, Ted, a major mistake by Wheaton.
I mean, that's unbelievable. And it does show a lot of composure. Somebody comes and whacks you in the back like that to be man enough and to be smart enough to let that go.
Well, let's see if that pumps up the Fort Hill offense a little bit. 5:20 remaining in the game, and Fort Hill's 1st and 10. I think it's going to be right at midfield, and obviously we're down to the nitty-gritty, folks.
It's also 15 less yards that Fort Hill has to travel for a touchdown.
Well, I'm sure Travis Broll liked the 15-yard penalty part of it. Pennell, I tell you, you can't blame Pat Pennell on that one. He throws it out there, makes a good throw, and Noah Reed just didn't hold on to the football that time. And at this point in the game, Fort Hill needs to hold on to every throw. And Ted, I think they're in their 2-minute offense. It looked to me that's the formation they like to run it from, and I think Mike has decided it's time. They haven't had hardly any success running the football. Let's see if he can mix it up and get something going this way.
They're definitely going to their passing formation. We saw Fort Hill, at times has been great using that sideline passing and stopping the clock.
Blitz that time, and number 87, I tell you, they stepped those 2 linebackers up in the tackle hole, and number 87 that time for Wheaton, Jason Brenham, comes unblocked. And the reason he came unblocked, that was because those 2 linebackers had to be picked up.
When Jason has 9 quarterback sacks for the year for the regular season for the Wheaton Knights.
3rd and 15 for Fort Hill. Ball thrown a little bit behind Reed that time. It'll bring up 4th down, 4:42 in the game, and I really don't think Mike Calhoun has much choice at this point. Let's see what he comes up with. I really don't think you can give the ball back to Wheaton this late in the ballgame. Let's see, he's going to try a punt. I tell you, this is a situation where, if you're Mike, you're hoping somebody mishandles the punt or, something happens to get you back in the football game.
Tug, if I was Wheaton, I'd be well, I'm wrong, but if I was Wheaton, I'd have been up on the ball thinking it was going to be a fake punt.
And I tell you what, if it rolls dead, and it does, it rolls dead at the 1-yard line. And Mike Calhoun looks like he's made a good decision at this point. I tell you, with the undisciplined offense that Wheaton's shown in the second half, and a great punt like that, Mike looks like he made a great decision at this point. No matter what happens, Fort Hill needs 2 scores.
I thought they might have been going for the fake punt that time, and Wheaton's defense was in disarray that time, and I'm surprised they didn't call timeout and try to figure out a little better what was going on. They could pay for it right now with a big mistake.
And I tell you, Ted, the critical thing you talked about early was the fact that Fort Hill only has 1 timeout left. I think at this point, that's the critical factor in the game.
On the carry.
You know, I tell you, look for Rashad Page right now to step over top of the quarterback and make a big play here. He's done that several times. He blitzed it quick over top of that center that there's been times where he's almost taken the handoff away from the running back.
Clock down to 4 minutes. Wheaton leading Fort Hill 14-0, fourth quarter.
You know, Toby, if I was Wheaton, I don't know if I'd run a quarterback sneak one more time because, like I say, those Fort Hill linebackers could come up here and sneak one away. And
well, let me ask you this. If you come up fourth down, are you going to take a safety? If you're Fort Hill, you still need 2 touchdowns, right?
How about if we take a timeout and we'll think about it a little bit? And obviously, that's the dilemma that every coach has and the Wheaton coaches have right now.
I mean, it's a tough call, but, you know, if you take a safety on Wheaton's side of the ball, and there's what you're talking about, the blitz by Page, and he does an outstanding job. Do you take a safety or do you go ahead and punt the football out?
And obviously, 2 scores will beat you with that safety. There's no ties then.
You're right. It eliminates the ties.
Well, Fort Hill's down 3 minutes and 13 seconds left, and they're out of timeouts, and they're down 14 points. So, you know, a critical decision on the Wheaton coaching staff.
And as Ted said, 14-0, Maryland State 2A championship, and we'll be right back.
Attention van buyers, listen carefully. In the next 30 seconds, you could save $4,000. At Schaefer Ford and Jeep in Cumberland, only Schaefer gives you $4,000 off remaining 96 Windstars in stock. Not $1,000, not $2,000, not $3,000. Exactly $4,000 off every single remaining 96 Windstar in stock at Schaefer. And remember, 97's arriving daily at lowest prices. Guaranteed. But hurry, $4,000 off Windstar while they last only. And only at Schaefer in Cumberland, where everybody buys their Fords and Jeeps.
For 27 years, the Fort Hill F Club has sponsored athletics at Fort Hill High School. Originating with 25 members, the F Club now has 115 people working on various support projects for Fort Hill athletics. Any male interested in supporting Fort Hill High School can become a member of the F Club. Members currently range from age 21 to age 70.
Every year, the F Club has put $10,000+ into our sports and our athletic programs. They contribute to all the programs we have, do a great job. And I tell you, without the F Club, we wouldn't be able to do some of the things that we are able to do here with our athletic program. They help us with uniforms, transportation, and a lot of those little incentive and motivational things that make us a championship school and a championship program.
To join or help support the F Club, contact any member. All money raised by the F Club goes to Fort Hill Athletics. Fort Hill and the F Club would like to thank all the sponsors who have supported the athletic programs throughout the years.
This instrument can change a life. It could even save one. But this instrument can't help anyone if it isn't used. So please, use it.
If you or someone you know is a victim of domestic violence, rape, or sexual abuse, call the Family Crisis Resource Center 24-hour hotline.
At our corporate research and engineering facilities, Westvaco scientists, engineers, and foresters lead the industry, developing breakthroughs in forestry management, biotechnology, and product development for all divisions of the company. Our corporate data center in Laurel, Maryland, networks the computers at all major Westvaco locations and provides a gateway to many of our customers' computers as well. Today, we're aggressively developing our company's systems resources, as access to instantaneous information will be an essential part of growing our business into the next century. That's the key to Westvaco's philosophy, looking forward to the future, creating innovative and differentiated products for discriminating customers.
Back at Bird Stadium, 14-0 to Wheaton Knights, 3:13 to go in the ball game. Let's see if they take the safety or elect to punt it out. And they punt it out. And let's see. Michael Page. I tell you what, maybe the best punt of the day, Ted. 40-yard punt. for the Wheaton Knights.
Well, once again, we've said it every time today. Great coverage again from the punting team of Wheaton. And I tell you what a big-time punt that was, punting out of your own end zone. Fort Hill has the ball in their 40. Coaches obviously had a lot of confidence in their punting game.
Now, Fort Hill, folks, is out of timeout, so it'll be critical for them, if they do complete the ball, to get to the line of scrimmage and get on the ball and get a play call. And Fort Hill is very efficient in their 2-minute offense. We've seen it all year.
Well, once again, Toby, the athletes of the Wheaton's defense are just, they're gang tackling, and they've done a great job of it all day. We can see why their defense is regarded as a very top defense in their area.
Yeah, they closed quickly on that corner. You can see the pitch to Rashard Page, and it looked like he had plenty of room, but I tell you, Wheaton closes fast. 2:39 and counting for the Sentinels. Second and about 9, 8.5 maybe. Waggle action from Pennell. He looking down over the middle, and the ball's picked off by number 30, David Ogborn, and he's returning the ball. He's got one man to beat, and he's tackled from behind by Kevin Titchell.
Well, once again, they've talked about the whole game we saw it the whole day. Wheaton's defensive secondary, very fast, and they can get on it.
That there will be award presentation immediately following the game.
We have 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Wheaton first down at the 47-yard line of Fort Hill.
I've noticed David Ogburn does lead the Wheaton team with interceptions.
Valaquez straight ahead for about 7 on first down.
The interesting thing, he's got 2 interceptions, and both were ran back for touchdowns. Toby, it's been 21 years since Fort Hill's won a state championship, and obviously they've had another great season, but it looks like they're going to have to go another year finding out if they can win one. Now, I tell you, they have a great staff, and they have a lot of these kids coming back next year, so it's not going to be unusual to be back here and seeing these kids play again next year.
Well, at this point, obviously, it doesn't look good, but I agree with you. I think if you look at Fort Hill's roster, it's a junior-dominated roster, and they've played a lot of young kids this year, especially on the offensive and defensive lines. We know what their all-season training program's like, so it wouldn't surprise anyone to see Fort Hill here in this position again next year. But, coming into the season, I think if someone said to Mike Calhoun, you lost all those seniors last year, and you're going to be playing in College Park for the state championship, they told him that in August, I think he'd have been thrilled to death, and that won't help any today. But I think they've had another great season also. At this point, I tell you what you like to see is the hustle by Michael Page. If you're a Fort Hill fan, you can appreciate the effort of Michael Page to try to catch the fullback from Wheaton as he went into the end zone. Nothing but effort, no quitting Michael Page, and no quitting the Sentinels.
And that's unfortunate, that touchdown run, because the Fort Hill defense the second half has dominated Wheaton, and it sort of, I'm sure Wheaton wasn't trying to run the score up, but sort of, rubbing salt in the wound there.
With the score, Wheaton 21, Fort Hill nothing, and 1:16 to play. We will be right back.
Lowest prices,
Guaranteed every day at Schaefer Ford and Jeep in Cumberland. Schaefer has the biggest selection and guaranteed lowest prices on all new 97 Ford cars and trucks. Schaefer is Western Maryland's only Jeep dealer with the best deal on Jeep. Want to save thousands on a new vehicle? Get 1996 bonus buys at Schaefer. Schaefer, where you'll buy new Ford cars, trucks, and Jeeps at lowest prices. Guaranteed. Western Maryland's best selection, #1 sales and service. That's Schaefer Ford and Jeep. Schaefer, Route 36, Cumberland.
Some moments in your family history are truly unforgettable. Others are impossible to forget. Now they can all be shared with Kodak Image Magic, the easy way to make pictures from pictures.
See the new Kodak Image Magic system at Christopher's. Christopher Photo Lab, developing your holiday memories for 50 years.
Change is never easy. Sometimes you can't even see it happening. And sometimes it seems to be happening too fast. Change is nothing new at the Luke Mill. You might even say it's part of our tradition. We're the oldest mill in the company, and yet we're one of the most modern in the country, and we're still building. Updating equipment and physical plant is only part of the story, though. The fact that we're still here, going strong, producing some of the best paper in the world, is thanks to our people. Machines don't think. People do. And there's never been a shortage of good ideas here at Luke for making things better.
It's now a matter of fully utilizing the talent of that workforce to complement the equipment that we've installed to go out and produce the best product at the best price.
And here we are back at Byrd Stadium. Wheaton 21, Fort Hill nothing, a minute to 16 to go in the ball game. Your Maryland State 2A championship.
I just saw Wheaton's coaches throw their arms up in the air. I think they just didn't want Fort Hill to return it for a touchdown. I don't think they meant to kick it out of bounds like that. You know, Wheaton has gone through the year, and they started off the season 0-2, losing to Damascus 34-20, and then losing to Gaithersburg 9-7. But then, you know, they have ran off 8 straight regular season wins, and obviously they're going to have their third straight playoff win today. So, you know what a tremendous thing for Coach Lee Brandhover of Wheaton, you know, to have happen. You start those first games and you lose 2 games. And, you know, they played 4 4A schools and 4 3A schools, obviously 2A this year. But for next year's realignment, they are going back to 3A.
Trey Foster on the inside handoff. He's able to move ahead for about 12 yards.
You know, like you said about Mike Page, there's still no quitting this Fort Hill team. Trey Foster running just as hard, you know, when the game appears to be over with 1:05 left that he was the first time he touched the ball today.
You know, as you look at that offensive team, Ted, next year, you know, Fort Hill comes back with Robert Dettenberg at tackle and Jeff Burgess at tackle, 2 junior tackles. You have Michael Page, Trey Foster, Noah Reed. I mean, they have an outstanding cast of young guys in there. They're doing a great job for them all year.
You know, nobody likes to lose a state championship game, and nobody's going to feel as bad as Coach Calhoun is, but I tell you, he does have a lot to look forward to the next year.
And there's another great catch by Michael Page, and it looks like he hurt a hamstring. If that's not a hamstring, I'll be surprised. He's in a lot of pain. I tell you, I watched Michael Page for 2 years now, and you got to like the way he plays the game. There are certain kids that just play all out all the time, and Michael Page is one of those kids. And of course, you don't want to see him hurt with 38 seconds to go in the ball game because he's had another outstanding year for Fort Hill.
Well, I tell you, he is really in some pain over there.
You know, that's definitely a hamstring, something high or a cramp. Let's hope it's a cramp.
Yeah, tearing a muscle is most of the times worse than breaking a bone, so we hope he's going to be okay. And also, we're hoping that Bill Harvey is also going to be okay because we haven't saw him back yet.
Inside handoff again to Noah Reed. And Reed steps out of bounds at about the 21-22 yard line as the clock winds down to 20 seconds.
Another first down.
You know, Fort Hill comes away, Ted, with another city championship, another CVL championship, and, you know, a 10-3 season the way it looks right now, and another outstanding season. They broke the record of 30 wins in a row, and, you know, I know Mike's not going to be satisfied today, but I think as he looks back on the season, he and his staff, that they'll be pleased with the effort that he got from these kids this year. I think they've had an outstanding year. And this Wheaton football team today was just a better football team up front, especially in the first half. It was just, they just dominated Fort Hill early and hung on for the win.
Metal pass, Senator Foster, incomplete.
I think obviously in these situations, the guys you feel for are those seniors that don't get a chance to come back. You know, you take a look at a Sean Blank and some of these other guys that have worked 4 years to get to this point, and they don't get a chance to come back and compete next year. And that's one of the harsh realities of high school football. And you hate to see that happen to any kid, but like, as we said, Buddy Van Meter's another one, Ed Twigg, Kevin Tishnell, all being seniors for the Sentinels.
You know, and those juniors are going to come back next year, and you know those senior players have taught them some things about maturity and things, and they're going to remember that next year. It's going to help them.
Lewis Shade also a senior in there.
Number 7 for Wheaton with the interception to just about wrap up the game. That is quarterback Mike Ray. I believe that's the 3rd interception and the 4th turnover of the game. So with 6 seconds left, it looks like we're going to start the clock, and Wheaton is going to be the Class 2A champs for 1996. Congratulations to the Wheaton Knights.
As you said, Ted, congratulations to the Wheaton Knights as the clock runs down. Wheaton will be your 2A champion. Congratulations to Mike Calhoun and his staff on another great season for the Sentinels. And Ted, just looking back at the game, I mean, the story was in the first half when Wheaton just dominated the line of scrimmage and got out to 2 quick scores.
Well, it was definitely a very impressive offensive performance. They came out in an offensive set that you don't see too many times, and especially the wide splits that we talked about. And Fort Hill definitely had their troubles, you know, dealing with it the first half. And I mean, you're talking about high school kids here, and it's hard to adjust to something like that when you haven't seen it all year. And of course, it came in at halftime, and Barry Latimer, whatever adjustments he made, or just getting the kids used to it, you know, they did a great job in shutting down the Wheaton offense. They just couldn't get their own offense generated, and you know, it ends up 14-0 at halftime. And of course, Wheaton shoves that touchdown at the end. It really didn't have an impact on the game, but like you said earlier, a great second half for the Fort Hill football team. But of course, you know, you got to play 2 halves.
And we would like to just extend our congratulations to Mike Calhoun and Fort Hill Sentinels, and another great season in commercial video services, wrapping up the 1996 season here at College Park at Byrd Stadium. Your final score, the Wheaton Knights 21 and the Fort Hill Sentinels nothing. Thank you very much, and hopefully we'll see you next season.